A little bit cold in here. The Broncos got a big win, ugly win, good looking win, whatever it is. We're here to talk about it. Jake Plummer, I'm Nate Jackson, and this is the Cold Tub. That's right. Welcome to the Cold Tub. What's up, Jake?
Oh, not much, Nate. We're not actually in a cold tub, but it's like the reference to the cold tub is like, the water cooler. You come around and you talk about anything.
So you're saying
all things.
When you were playing in the NFL, which you did for how many years?
10 years.
10 years in the league as a starting quarterback. The cold tub was somewhere where you found relief, refuge.
Yeah, it was great for your body. And then also, fun to sit in there with the lineman or whoever else was around and shoot the breeze, talk about whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe about practice, most likely not. More or less probably about like the Office episode that was just on or Game of Thrones or who knows what,
or whatever,
Sopranos and whatever.
Or whatever pay-per-view movie you watched the night before the game.
Possibly, yeah.
That's what people don't understand is back in the day, we didn't have like laptops and computers and internet.
Streaming devices, no.
We would go the night before games and watch pay-per-view movies in your hotel room. And, some guys watch different kinds of movies. Some guys watch comedies.
Some people studied their playbook because they were getting plays put in right before the game that they had to go out and run. Yeah, I would be studying my playbook. I'd study all the way up till they made you put your binder in the little basket and say, put your playbooks away. And it was like, okay, I guess I'm ready now.
Well, as a starting quarterback with 10 years of experience, I'm sure you watched yesterday's game with the Broncos with a discerning eye, right? The Broncos won 20-12 against the Tennessee Titans in the opening game of the season. What were your initial impressions, I guess, of that victory?
Awesome. They got a W, and that is the most important thing is a W is a W is a W, especially first game of the year at home. You've added some new faces to the roster. A lot of expectations around here. So it's all good, though. It's definitely a W. And with that being said, could they improve? Of course. But we want to call this an ugly win. It's a win. There are going to be ugly wins.
Yeah.
There's going to be more ugly wins. 10 games from now, when this game is really important, no one's going to care that if it's ugly or pretty. It was a W.
So you have experience like dealing with being a quarterback after an ugly win.
Yeah.
Right. It's the first game of the season. And my experiences with the first game of the season, and this is something I was worried that was going to happen in this game, was that the coach makes the game plan a little bit too complicated. He's got 2 or 3 months to prepare for it. And offensive genius coaches, they want to be thought of as the architect, as the reason why you get a victory. And you got a not a very good team in the Titans coming in. You got a super strong defense. And so to me, the Broncos offense looked a little bit like they were confused. There was too much going on. Maybe the playbook was a little bit too thick. It got a little too cute. 16 of the first 20 plays, Jake, were passes.
Wow. Yeah.
When you spend all off season trying to bolster this running game and talking about how you have to have a better running game, it didn't seem to be something that they were prioritizing in the game.
Well, not early, but then later on when it mattered, they did run the ball, and it looked really nice. Dobbins looked good. That young kid, Harvey, had a big breakout run.
Yeah.
I think we could see glimpses of how the run game can be. And when you get a good run game with a young quarterback like Bo Nix, he's still young. It's only his second year. And we all have these huge expectations for him as to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He's going to get there, but it's going to take time. And part of that evolution will be to have a nice run game. I think their line is very, very solid.
Yeah.
They got a solid line.
Yeah.
They went out and got running backs to address the issue of, not really having a full package back there. And we saw some guys running hungry. And that's nothing. There's nothing better than a quarterback that has a running back that runs hungry. He wants the ball. And that's a beautiful thing. And I think you said it best. You have the whole offseason, all preseason. Even though they're planning and going against these other teams, they're still prepping for Tennessee. And their coaches are, look at this film from 2019 when Tennessee did this. Let's put this play in. So they have all these plays. It's not really the best game plan, the first game of the year. And we saw that. I think once they got into their rhythm later, we could see that they did move the ball well. And That happens. I remember our first games. There were a few we lost. We were
the
horrible.
Miami game in 2005.
Yeah, man.
End up going 13-3.
Yep.
But had a bad showing on the road. The very next year, we're in St. Louis, lost that opening game.
Yeah.
And in my recollection, that game was like, it was really loud there. It was on the road, but it was like a very complicated game plan too. There were so many checks,
Yes,
and it was like,
totally.
if we come up to the ball and they're in this, we're going to do this, and we had to listen for you, but no one could hear.
That's just a coach like Shanahan who obviously wants to put us in the best position by diagramming and designing plays that can help us. But sometimes that huge play sheet with 350 calls on it, it's like, slim it down and call the ones that Bo knows what to do, knows how to run, and is comfortable running. And that's what the beauty of having Kubiak for me was. He'd come down and even say it sometimes like, hey, give me your top 10 plays. I give them to him. And then a new play would come in. He's like, don't worry, I won't call that.
Oh, really?
He's like, he would tell me, I will not call that play. Who cares if Mike brought it down? I'm not calling that play. I'm going to call the ones. He knew the ones that I was comfortable with. He knew how to get me in my rhythm. He knew I was always good for throwing a couple slants to get into that rhythm. And that's the thing for a quarterback. Throw some slants, throw some quick hitting throws so you can get some completions. Maybe you get hit a couple times, you get used to it, you get your feet set, and you realize, okay, we're back playing football for real now.
Yeah. So before I want to get into, the performance and analysis of what happened on the field, this offseason, Sean Payton said that he thinks Bo Nix is going to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL in the next couple of years, and that their Super Bowl window is open, and he's been on coach maybe 6 teams who he thinks is Super Bowl ready, and now this is the 7th. He said that like a month ago, and it became a national story. How would you feel if you were a quarterback going into your second year and your coach said that about you before the season? Would that be something that made you feel good and like he trusted you, or would you be like, God, come on, coach, what are you saying that for?
Oh no, man. I mean, that's confidence. And of course, as a quarterback, every year I went into it believing we had a chance to win a Super Bowl. Even in Arizona, when, hey, we're going to let go of Larry Sanders and bring in some young, good players. And I still had to believe that, hey, we still got a chance and a shot at this, even though, you let go of a player like that and core players on your team, it may not be lining up with what's being said and being done in the front office, but they've done what you need to do in the offseason, bring in some more talent, solidify the defense even more, and bring in some good running backs. So for Peyton to say that, it's more or less putting the pressure on his players and obviously feeding the media some food for fodder so they can chew on it and chew their cud and talk about it and have that to pull out if we don't make the Super Bowl this year. Like, well, you said this.
Right.
But, you have to be confident.
Yeah.
You have to believe that. That's why this win, ugly as it is, as bad as everybody and mad as everybody is about the performance and Bo's performance and all this, it's a W. It's one down. And it doesn't matter. Week 15, week 16, you're not going to give two you-know-whats about this win being ugly. It's a W. So, yeah, the expectations heaped on these guys is good because it reminds you you're playing for the Denver Broncos organization. This is not an organization that wants to be in the top 5 draft picks next year. This is an organization that wants to be in the playoffs, making noise and pushing to be in the Super Bowl.
So defense is spectacular. I mean, I think there's 7 first downs the Titans got, under 200 yards, 3 of like 16 on third downs, kept them out of scoring range a couple times when they got the ball in scoring range after a couple turnovers. And so when you're a quarterback and you have a defense like that, does that allow you to play more free? Does that make you want to be more conservative with the ball? How does that affect your philosophy offensively when you have a defense that's that dominant?
Yeah, I mean, you don't go out there and play any more reckless. You still go do your job, but it is nice that, Bo had some opportunities to not make the best throw, threw a couple interceptions, had a fumble. We also muffed a punt.
Yeah.
So, having a defense like that, we can't lean on them and expect them to do that all the time. This is a young Tennessee team with a rookie quarterback who did make some spectacular throws late in the game that were, hey.
Calvin Ridley.
He saw glimpses of what, this kid has in his repertoire and the ability that he's going to bring to the table. But the defense did. They stepped up. They kept stepping up. this is a great defense. They put pressure on the quarterback, and that's huge in this league because not only is pressure good, but Cam didn't look comfortable wanting to get out and run either.
No.
And this defense is swarming. They're playing fast. They're playing for each other. And I think outside of that building, the community and the media wants to pit offense versus defense. And the defense is like, come on, offense, you're throwing interceptions. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
If your quarterback is someone you respect and love, if he's struggling, the defense says, we got you.
Yeah.
Bo, we got you. Go out and do your thing, man. And they keep playing well. Now, if it continues and Bo's careless and throwing interceptions and offense isn't producing, there may be some infighting. But otherwise, it's a team game, and defense is going to pull their weight. And as a quarterback, though, you love it when you make a mistake or two and you get bailed out by the defense like this.
Talanoa Hufanga, the newly acquired safety, who's a badass dude. He caused a fumble.
He's a good player.
Yeah, and he's just like, he's a really cool guy. He came into the press room afterwards, one of the guys who spoke, and in my capacity as uniform inspector, I got to be there sitting in the press room, making sure none of these guys are wearing like a Gorilla Sports logo or something that they're not supposed to.
So only prescription meds, Bud Light, and
right.
Whatever
wings.
insurance companies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in there and watching these post-game pressers. And Talanoa Hufanga came in with a Bo Nix shirt on.
Nice.
Just repping his and we're going to talk a little bit about the media narratives in a second, but they got each other's backs. It's a team sport. He said that. And could you talk a little bit about, because when you and I were on this team, and it was kind of a staple of the West Coast systems, they would script the first 15 plays.
Yeah.
Right. So we would get the script the night before the game. There's got 15 plays on it. Typically there was a good balance of run and pass. They threw the ball 16 out of the first 20 times. There's no way he put that on the first 15, that it was like 13 out of the first 15 were passes, right? So do you think the situation in a game, like the first 15 script, you're loosely supposed to follow it.
Yeah.
But if it comes up and it's like 3rd and 12 and the next thing is a run, you got to
12 list.
Right. But there's no way the plan was to be that one-sided. What do you think about that?
I don't know. They obviously did it. So, 3rd down, it requires, sometimes you can run it to get it. Sometimes you got to throw it.
Yeah.
So that may lean heavier towards the pass because of the 3rd down situations. But the first 15 or whatever, the script, it was nice to know what was coming up.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it was because you knew the other team well and it was scripted well. And we go down and score a lot of times on the first drive, and we were efficient. Sometimes you go 3 and out. You hated that because you don't like to start the game like that, but it's 4 quarters and heavy on the pass, whatever. I mean, everyone's looking at Bo Nix right now when we're sitting here getting to witness one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And one of the best defensive players in the NFL, and Patrick Surtain, along with a front 4 that just gets after it. I mean, these guys, they play hard.
Yeah.
So enjoy this defense too. Like, this is not just Bo Nix is going to carry this team. This is a full-on, well put together team, all aspects. Obviously, special teams could step up a little bit, but that'll happen. And the heavy on the pass, I think, like, we saw the run game and what it can be. We saw glimpses of how it can happen and what can come from a nice balanced attack. Bo's great with the ball in his hands after play action, with rolling out, with any type of play action in the pocket. That's where I think he feels the most comfortable.
But you got to run the ball before the play
action. You have to run the ball and establish even just 2-3 yard gains. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You still got to run the ball to get the defense to play that run.
Yeah, and the offense seemed a little out of sync. To me, too many
happens early on.
I know, but so many personnel groups.
Yeah.
That's indicative of the over game planning.
And so some coaches may throw a bunch on you, because you don't do that in the preseason, because everybody you don't want to show everybody your secret play that nobody else runs, but every other team has in their playbook, but they don't know.
Yeah.
So you got to be like, hide all that, and now you throw it all out there. And maybe they thought, hey, Tennessee, an opponent we should win, we should beat them. Maybe not the most talented team in the league, although there's talent across the whole league, but a team not expected to do much. So let's throw all this stuff out there. And now you get to, understand what you need to whittle off and get honed in on, and put Bo. A good coach is going to put him in the positions to do what he does well, and don't ask him to do more than that, because you got what the makings of one of the most dominant defenses to play in the blue and orange in a while.
So that means
lean on them.
Yeah, and devote yourself to the run and keep it
and
simple.
Put points on the board.
Yeah,
put points on the board however you can. Field
because
goals,
there's this
touchdowns,
idea
whatever.
that like a quarterback just wants to throw. He just wants to throw and cook through the air. But you're saying as a quarterback, you would prefer a balanced attack. You like running the football as a quarterback.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, you run the ball well on first or second down. You're running 3rd and 4 now. And that's easy. You can throw the screen plays behind the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 4. Calling those on 3rd and 10, I start to scratch my head because you're actually now to 3rd and 13 where he catches it.
Yeah.
He's got 13 yards to go, not just 10. So a good run game keeps you, on down, whatever you want to call it, keeps you in good 3rd down situations. As you saw, Tennessee was in a lot of 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20.
Yeah.
That sucks as a quarterback. That's super hard.
Yeah, I think they had 4th and 38.
Oh man, it's insane. You don't want to be in those positions because you have to throw the ball. Defenses can pin their ears back, and a balanced attack is good. I think we're going to see it get whittled down. You're going into play a team that looked really good in Indianapolis. So you better go in there with a really good, clean game plan. It's loud in there. Keep it simple. I loved that Cortland stepped up, made some big plays. Thank you, Cortland Sutton, for stepping up, doing your job, catching the ball and turning north.
Yeah.
I loved in the 4th quarter. He caught the ball. He turned straight up, didn't try to do anything. He got a 1st down when it was 2nd and 9.
Yeah.
And people don't even really think about that play. But I'm like, yes, because if you're 3rd and 2, that's a whole different game, play call.
Yeah.
What was the next play? It was a run on 1st down, touchdown, Dobbins.
Right.
So those little things that people don't even talk about, and most of the media will not even know happen because they're just so scratching their head at how come Bo threw interceptions? He's not supposed to do that.
He's supposed to be a top 5 quarterback.
He's going to. It's going to happen. But the fact is he kept scrapping and his team kept fighting, and he's a good leader, and they love him.
Yeah, they do.
And he loves them. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Throw 5 picks in a game, Bo, just so the media can boil over. As long as we win, who cares?
So I want to get into this media stuff in a little bit because you had to be subjected to some of that stuff too. An ugly win. The media was unsatisfied with your play, even though we had a victory, which was absurd. But before we get into that, a little bit about Bo's mechanics and stuff, because there were some times where he fell off his platform a little bit. He didn't have pressure, but he decided to jump to the side and try to throw as he was moving, and then it was an inaccurate throw. What about a quarterback's presence in that moment makes the footwork difficult to stay rooted in?
It's the first live game, really. He played in the preseason, and maybe he got hit a few times. I don't watch the preseason. I hate the preseason. But when you get into the
why do you hate the preseason?
Because the games don't count.
Yeah, but well, okay, so
at least for me,
right? Exactly.
For everybody else trying to make the team, great.
No,
starting quarterback, I'm the starter. Why am I even putting myself out there? You're risking me getting injured, and if I get hurt, who's the backup? Hopefully, you got a really good backup.
This guy.
So it's like you put your number 1 talented quarterback who's supposed to be a top 5 here soon out for risk. I just never liked the preseason.
Well, then does that mean that he's a little? Well, if he had played,
it's not gun shy.
But if he had played in the preseason, would he have been prepared for that moment better?
No.
Okay.
No, it's the first game of the year. It's live. You're going to get hit.
Yeah.
And we saw this from Bo last year. A few times he was a little jumpy in the pocket.
Yeah.
He would drift for no reason.
Yeah.
And we were such a rhythm passing, West Coast offense was all. 5-step drop was 5 quick.
You were
5,
under center.
5 with a hitch. 5 with a big 5, big 5 with a big hitch.
Yeah.
Quick 5 with the short hitch. 7-step with a hitch. 7-step no hitch. There was so much timing involved. I didn't just catch the ball and bounce around back there and have my internal clock going. So what happens is he's doing that, and he may think he's getting pressured when he's really not. I mean, you can feel a guy coming, but if he's a yard from you, you still set your feet. Take that hit.
Yeah.
And I think there was a few plays where you saw him drift for no reason. And he did that last year. And he cleaned it up. That's why it's great for a dub, because you go now and you look at the film, and this is what Bo's going to work on, is not drifting when he's in the pocket. And if you start to drift, take off, young man. You're a skilled athlete that can run the ball. Take off.
Yeah.
And if your coach is trying to pigeonhole you and put you in a box and tell you to stay in the pocket, just tell him, go watch Jalen Hurts, coach.
Yeah.
Here's a guy who's staying in the pocket, but he's also taking off and making hay when he takes off and runs.
Well, I
Right.
know there's some concern about injury, of course, for the quarterback.
Yeah, there's concern for anybody getting hurt.
Well, I know, but the quarterback
Even today, these guys could get hurt in the
like,
weight room. You could smash your finger with a 45-pound weight
no, but
lifting weights.
you just said if I get hurt, we're screwed, basically. Like if I get hurt in preseason, we're screwed. Well, if you get hurt in game 1, you're screwed.
Yeah, but it's live now.
Yeah.
You don't think about that. And if you get hurt, that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, but if you want to play till you're 45, like
Who wants to play till they're 45?
Tom Brady, dude.
Aaron Rodgers was balling yesterday. What is he? 49?
He got hit a couple times
God
pretty
dang,
hard.
like it's a young man's game.
Yeah.
And how they do it, I don't know. It's awesome. Good for them. But right now, Bo Nix, his talent is like he has a wicked arm.
Yeah.
But what he can do when he runs and he gets outside of the pocket, so there's a balance.
Yeah.
You have to set your feet, young man, and make those throws. You can't miss guys when they're open. And we all know that, but it's a small tweak and a very easy thing to remedy. And I think he obviously will.
But there's also the factor of these other teams now sort of more prepared for his legs. And so a lot of these play action keepers there was a guy waiting on him. They're like, they were not fooled by it.
And because the defenders are not going to come off of their guy to come up to get him. They're going to stay on him and make him make those tough throws when he's on the run.
Yeah.
And they got a spy. So yeah, it gets hard. I've been through this. This when I came into the league, no one had any clue. I started breaking tackles and coming out, and guys were wide open going down the field because defenders stopped. They thought I was sacked.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm not sacked.
Yep.
I'm alive. The snake's alive. And so that was super fun. But then as my career progressed, as we got going, they started, hey, stay on your man. And they would say it. I know defenders would tell me, we know you're going to give us the ball. We know you're going to give us the ball. And sometimes I did. But, there was never a play I backed down from. And I feel like that's Bo's best characteristic, and his strongest mindset is that he can make those plays. And we saw him make them. But it's just, there's a really fine line. Do you want to not make the play? And then now the media gets to talk about it all day and all week and all the.
That's what's happening right now.
Yeah. And same guys that were talking about me are talking about him now. And it's pretty wild that they're still saying the same bullshit.
They are. And you had to deal with the same bullshit that Bo's dealing with today.
Yeah.
And after the game, he had to stand up in the podium after a win. And I was in there, and the majority of the questions being asked of Bo were about his mistakes.
Yeah.
It wasn't about getting the win and how great the defense was and Cortland stepping up and these young and the running back. It was about his 2 interceptions and his fumble. I mean, someone's saying like, you haven't fumbled since blah, 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 blah. In Oregon, why did you fumble? Was it? And he has to answer that. Like, oh, well, I was trying. So
I asked the defense to not try to strip the ball because it was like non-strip Sunday. And dude was a jerk and stripped the ball. I mean, God, what a jerk on defense. They're not supposed to do that.
They're not. And so he's up there having to answer those questions.
Yeah.
You used to have to do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
How do you keep your composure when you have people asking you questions that make you want to pull your hair out?
Sometimes I didn't. Sometimes it was hard. It was extremely difficult to have to answer right after the game when I haven't even seen the film. Yeah, you got these naive eyes who've never sat there and pulled the trigger that are asking you a question about why did you make this throw? And they probably were eating popcorn when it happened and then saw the replay and heard the announcer say, you can't make that throw. And then they're like, well, what throw was that? Let me go watch it. And then they come out and they try to ask you, why did you make that throw? Well, I haven't even seen film on it yet. And I know sometimes, it was a bad throw. Yeah. Every throw I made out there, you people listening and watching, the 3 people watching right now, I was just trying to make a play. That was it. And I was trying to make a play for my team and for you. And then the media comes and asks you these insane questions. They have the whole game sitting on their ass with a pencil and a pad of paper. And that's the question.
They're tweeting too.
The question they come up with. Yeah. And all they're doing is just throwing vitriol. They're throwing poison. They're throwing out probably nothing very positive. Nothing at all, because there's these expectations that we have to meet as a quarterback for them to be able to not ask these questions. Yet their job is to fuel that fire and that controversy and that doubt. And so that's why I never really liked talking to the media, but you have to.
Why do you think, you think they're intentionally trying to fuel doubt and controversy, or is it they just have some impossible idea or standard of what quarterback play is, because Peyton Manning came at this kind of crescendo
Ruined
of his
it
career
for everybody.
Yeah, and then of course John Elway back-to-back Super Bowls.
Again, him too.
Walks away.
God,
forever.
he never threw a bad ball. In
No.
fact, John never threw an interception in his entire career.
Yeah.
He was like impeccable, perfect player.
Yeah, and so this memory is sweet.
Yeah, and it's so knee-jerk. It's the next day, and positivity doesn't sell on the air. You're not going to come out like, hey, this was a great job by the Broncos. I think that they executed well. And no, nobody wants to hear that. Everybody likes to complain.
Yeah.
And they like to bitch about why it wasn't a good game. And I'm always baffled when I come across fans and they're like, well, that was a horrible, man, like they won and it was exciting. It was 28-27. I know, but I don't like those games. Like, why not? That's why I watch, is to see the team come together and pull out a victory rather than just blow out some team. You don't learn much about yourself there. No. Yeah, we're great. Everybody's great. Cool. It's the games that, like this last game, just yesterday, you find that way to win. The team gets better, but the media doesn't understand that, because it's not like they found a way to write a good article. They just reprinted one from 30 years ago, changed the date, the names, the score, the location, and all that. Same exact. It's plagiarism to its finest. They don't do anything original. Yet Bo is out there putting his ass on the line. Yeah. So, like, some respect is due, media. Ask a good question. I never was mad if you asked me a good question, but Bo handles it with a lot of professionalism. I really, I like how he handles himself. I really would love to see him just speak truthfully and honestly, and actually get mad, show me that it pisses you off. Yeah, that would make me happy.
Yeah, maybe that's coming at some point.
Yeah, when he gets in the cold tub, maybe he should.
Yeah, maybe he'll jump in the cold tub and give us the real. And to your point, Talanoa Hufanga, Patrick Surtain, they came in after Bo, stood up there and had their quarterbacks back when they were asked the same questions from the media about your quarterback throwing interceptions, your quarterback putting you in tough situations. They were like, nah, man, it's a team sport. It's a team sport, and we're all in this together. And Talanoa Hufanga had the Bo Nix shirt to prove it. Yeah. And which is pretty cool. Which is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, man. That's all you want as a quarterback. You want to have your guys that believe in you. And if you fail, they're still going to come back and get you. If you are not the guy and you're not taking care of your stuff and you're not in the locker room, you're not leading, you're not taking care of your job, then they won't have your back. But if you're authentic and genuine and you love and care about your teammates, they're gonna reciprocate that, and it shows. Like, this is a tight-knit team.
Yeah, they are.
There's nothing the media is going to do to crack this team. They are going to stick together because they understand maybe they're not a Super Bowl champion team yet, but they could evolve to one during this season.
Well, they're 1-0, and this is the first time in Sean Payton's tenure here that they've won the first game of the season. So they're off to a good start. So how much do they need to reflect on this game? Like, they're probably, as we speak right now, going over the film, getting, having that dissected. The good thing is you made some mistakes, but you found a way to win. So we can clean up the mistakes, but we got to win anyway. So, like, as a quarterback, how much are you looking at what just happened and how much are you dwelling on it, if at all?
You're going to dwell. You're going to be upset with the interceptions and a fumble. That's just part of the game, though. You got to get over it. I think the coaches can coach a lot better. And those guys, they're the ones that I'm looking to see what they do. Yeah, the players are going to play. Yeah. We've got athletes. We've got playmakers. We've got guys to do stuff. A muff punt, that happens. You don't like to see it, but you can clean that up. Yeah. Special teams, you can clean that up. How? By better coaching. Offense, you can clean up. How? Better coaching. Yeah. It's not on Bo Nix. This is on the coaches. Yeah. Call better plays. Put us in better situations. It's your job, Coach Payton, to coach. I'm a player. I play. You coach. You coach. Yeah. Trainers train. Right. Cold tubbers sit in the cold tub. We're not even in a cold tub. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking for the coaches to come back and put these guys in a better situation. I'm looking for Coach Payton to put Bo Nix in a better situation.
And to Mike Shanahan's credit, when we played, when we had a bad game and it was poorly coached, he would stand up there and say, we all got to be better, right? Yeah. Coaches have to be better. Yes. Players have to be better. Sure, he would call out players who made mistakes, but he'd also call themselves out for not coaching a good enough game. And I think hopefully Sean Payton delivered that message to his team today. I got to be better. Do you think he did?
Yeah, you got to, because you're going to go to a team that's pretty damn good. Indianapolis looks like they're pretty good this year.
They scored 7 out of 7 possessions.
Yeah, and if you don't go in there and play cleaner, we're going to see if this team is not the team we all expect them to be. Yeah. So clean it up and be excited, fans. It's 1-0.
Yeah.
Right? You're 1-0 right now. The Chiefs lost.
Yeah, they did.
They're
in
done.
last
They're
place.
done. They're losing all their
are.
games.
They are.
But we
Well,
won. We got to win.
The Broncos are 1-0, but I think we're 1-0 in the cold tub, dude.
Are we 1-0 in the cold tub?
Yeah.
We're not even in a cold tub. How can we be 1-0? If I'm a media guy right now, I'm going to say, Nate and Jake, I'm confused because you say you're in the cold tub, but there's no cold tub. Can you explain that to me? Because I'm perplexed.
Well, someday we're going to get a cold tub, and we're going to do the show from the cold tub. And we'll eat an Umbo bar.
Maybe we'll take a cold call from the cold tub.
Maybe have some cold pizza.
Or some cold cuts.
Have some cold takes.
Or a cold bevy.
Yeah, or
just be cold. I'm cold-hearted. Just do some cold-hearted stuff.
Well, the cool thing about the cool thing about a cold tub is that it sucks getting in it, but if you are able to withstand it, when you get out, you feel a whole lot better.
I hope that you guys enjoyed being in the cold tub with us.
Yeah, I feel a whole lot better. Do you feel better? A little bit. Well, we won't know until we get out.
I do feel better. I feel like we got one in the books, and this is our first go around, and we're looking to do more, and we're going to have fun. And I'm glad that people are tuning in, and hopefully we cooled you down a little bit. Cool it down in the cold tub. He's Jake Plummer. I'm Nate Jackson. We'll see you guys next time in the cold tub. Later. Peace.